Hello, everybody, and welcome to Paranormal Nation Radio. How's everybody doing tonight? Denise is having some issues there, but we do have a guest coming on tonight. And I can pronounce her first name. She'll have to pronounce her last name because I don't want to mess it up. But anyway, everybody welcome Shannon to the show. Hello, Shannon. So, can you hear us, Shannon? Hello. Oh, we're really having technical issues tonight.
Not sure why I can't hear you guys. Now I can't hear anything.
Oh, no. And I was just talking to her earlier. She'll sign back in here in a second. Oh, this is what happens on a paranormal show before it starts. We always have technical issues and everything going on. So let me get over. Hi, Nigel. Hi, Irene, and everything. Yeah, you could hear me and her, but she couldn't hear it. We're going to try this again. Shannon, can you hear us, Shannon? Oh, this is going to be a night. I can see this one coming. Anyway,
Oh, I
everybody,
can hear
thanks
you.
for joining. Can you hear us?
I can finally hear you. I don't know what happened. It was a miracle.
Oh, well, okay. Welcome, Shannon, to the show.
Hi,
Denise is still
everybody.
having issues up here. Ron's up there. Hello, Ron.
Hi, Ron. Are we in retrograde?
Yeah. Yeah, she's still having technical issues with the computer. She's on her phone up there where you see the picture. She can hear us and everything. So while she's doing that, Shannon, tell our audience a little bit about yourself.
So, I'm a spiritual catalyst, which kind of means that I help people create happiness in their life and joy. Essentially creating the lives that they've always wanted to create. But in order to do that, I help people clear traumas and pains and anxieties, depression, old belief systems, old DNA. I help them create new neural pathways in the brain. And then I also help people um, I would say get over whatever's going on blocking them in their lives. I help them clear that out as well. And I usually do that I can do it through angelic communication, spirit communication, their higher selves, their past life viewing, things like that.
Wow. So with all that and everything, you say past life viewings. What do you mean by that? And I just lost Shannon.
That yes. So I do
Okay.
past life viewing. So I look at somebody's past life according to how their life is now. So how it's affecting their life now. So let's say that they have a family member that they can't stand. We can look in their past lives to see how that is affecting their lives today.
Oh, okay. So you're basically saying back through their family history, you're looking to see how it affects them today.
Yes, that, and we have something called cellular memory. So when we reincarnate, when we come back here again, we hold on to memory in the cells. And it's actually a proven scientific fact that cells remember things. And so our cells actually remember some events, things that happened in past lives. If you meet a person and you just automatically don't like them and you don't know why, it's usually because your cells remember them from another life.
Wow, that's interesting. I've never heard it put that way before and stuff, but yeah, that's interesting since
I
the
lost
majority
you
the
and I don't
majority of
want to
people
because
out
we're
here
having a
don't
great
use
conversation.
majority of the people out here don't use that much of their brain anyway, so there's
Maybe if
plenty
I
of
do this
cells to
again,
store memory up there.
usually when I do that, something happens.
Okay. Hi, Gary.
This is so crazy.
Everybody's having
You guys
issues
can hear
tonight.
me, but I can hear you guys, which is crazy.
Yeah, I can hear
Oh,
you just fine.
there it goes. Okay, I'm just
I'm
not
back
gonna move.
again.
I'm not gonna move.
Okay.
I'll just sit.
Yeah. No, that's fine. And what it is, okay, you're on a cell phone and everything. Are you on an Android phone or a iPhone?
An iPhone.
Okay. I'll tell you right now, on your iPhone, after the show, go into the iPhone store
Uh-huh.
and download the StreamYard app.
Mm,
Okay,
okay.
because on iPhones they have issues. You're probably using what, Safari or one of those over there.
Yes.
Okay, there's issues with that sometimes on the iPhones.
Okay.
But StreamYard did just create their app in the iPhone store.
Nice.
So, okay, let's see. Denise is down below, and we'll see if she's camera or computer and get her up here and stuff. But where are you located at, Shannon?
So I'm in Los Angeles, and 99.9% of my work is done over the phone. So I have clients all over the world. And actually, for me, I don't know if you guys experience this as well, but when you're talking on the phone, you actually feel comfortable and it feels like the person is right next to you. And so when I'm on the phone, I have that direct connection to the brain so I can shift anything that I need to shift for the person.
Oh, that's interesting. Uh, so, how long have you been doing this?
I've actually been doing this type of work for about 17 years now. And I started out as a psychic medium. And we all know that, as more that you use your gifts, the more that they develop. And I
Yeah.
started remembering how to affect the cells with a thought. And then I started having past life memories where I was actually affecting other people's cells with my thoughts and remembered exactly how to do it. And now I incorporate that in my everyday work.
Wow, that's interesting. Now, when before you started this, or do you still go on any investigations?
Yes, yeah, I do. I don't go as often. I used to go all the time, and I used to go with some really big investigation teams, and we would film TV shows and all of that. But I found that I felt more comfortable with helping people with their lives and fixing their lives rather than interacting with the spirit world. I mean, I interact with the spirit world all the time, but I don't necessarily want to go find the bullies.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
So, but yeah, you're the field you're in. I'm new to that part of that stuff. I'm trying to figure out some good questions to ask you
Well, I've
about
done
it
a
and
lot of
everything.
investigations and I've done a lot of spirit communications. So I'm definitely whatever it is that you guys want to ask me, I've probably done it.
Right. And if anybody in the chat room over here has questions, please ask them and we'll get them to Shannon here and stuff. While Denise is still trying to work out the technical issues she's having tonight. Oh, it's been crazy on her computer and phone here lately.
So
But
can I share with you while we're waiting for Denise, can I share with you
yeah,
one of the most touching spirit stories I have?
yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, so I was invited to go to Pennsylvania for I was doing kind of a gallery read. I was really big into mediumship at that time. And this lady came to me after and she says, I really need you to come to my house because we have a ghost in our house. And I was like, well, yeah, sure. I mean, I'm always welcoming that, right? And so when she opens the door, I go to her house, and when she opens the door, it's customary that when somebody opens the door, you just kind of wait until they tell you to come in. Well, no,
Right.
I went right in, I pushed right past her. I went right to this room, and in this room, I saw a child spirit with no hair sitting on the bed. And this child spirit kept saying, "Where's my mommy? Where's my mommy?" And I asked the lady that lived there, I said, "Was there a child that passed here?" And she said, "Yes, there was a child that passed here, had leukemia." And I said, "Where are her parents?" And she said, "Oh, they moved out the day that their child died and haven't come back." And I said, "Well, are they anywhere near here? Can they come?" And she says, "Yeah, they're only a couple blocks down the road. I can give them a call." So good thing she already knew who they were. And so she called them and they came right over, which was surprising to me. And they came right over. And as soon as they came over, they sat down on the bed. And the dad said, "I feel somebody sitting on top of me." And I could see the little girl sitting on his lap, just looking at him, just so happy to see him. And through all of that, there was lots of tears, lots of allowing or, inviting for her to cross over, all of that. We were able to cross her over, and her parents were able to give her the permission. And it was probably one of the most beautiful things I think I've ever experienced.
That's really neat. I'm shocked. Well, it depends on if the mom and dad believed in ghosts and spirits and everything like that. I'm shocked. Most people you'd call and say, "Come over here, your kid wants you." They would go the opposite direction.
I was pretty
So,
shocked too. The mom said that she had been waiting for her to visit, and she had not been visited by her, and she wondered why she hadn't visited. And I said, "Well, she hasn't visited because she's been sitting here waiting for you the whole time."
and how long had it been since she passed?
It had been like something like 5 years or something. It had been quite some time.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah,
Yeah,
uh,
that's rough. And to think that child spirit's been there for 5 years, you know, and
waiting.
nobody's been able to communicate with the child and sitting there, "Where's my mommy? Where's my daddy?" For 5 years.
Yes. So I
Yeah,
mean, no
that's
wonder
quite a
why the child
story.
was moving things around. I mean, she was moving things around. She was playing with toys. She was trying to get attention so somebody would hear her. And thank goodness I was able to see her right away.
Yeah, that's good, and it's good you have that ability to see the spirits
Yes,
and
yes.
stuff. So, well, let's see. We got Denise and Ron down here. Oh, we got a picture and a camera, and we're going to see. I'll bring her up. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I had to
Yes.
I had to restart everything, and I had to
It's a new now.
I had to send myself the link to get to the show because it was going to make me have you log me in again.
Our new old computer.
This one I actually used the last time I talked to Shannon back in 2017. So
Has it been that long?
yes.
Wow.
And the last message is something along, "I still owe you a reading." I was like, oh well. So, but no, today has been a day of wondering how I do it all, any of it. So we doing all that uh new job stuff.
A lot of electronic issues today, I've noticed.
I wonder if we had sunspots today.
I'm wondering. I went to the bank and every system in the bank was down on the entire branch. So every bank, all the systems went down.
Wow.
Yeah.
What Bank of America?
It was a credit union actually.
Oh, so
Yeah.
that's not a massive network.
No. But I mean, it's still, I mean, I would imagine, I mean, it probably affected at least 100, maybe 200 branches, if not more.
We had that happen one of the times we came down here to Florida. We had that issue to where all Bank of Americas from this side, from Kansas City to the East Coast, was out.
Wow.
And we were traveling. It was not fun. So got to send Ron's mom where to find this show. She can listen. So
Yeah, 'cause she's usually watching on yours and everything.
yes. And Carl, you're going to have to tell me what's going on comments wise, because I'm not going to be able to see them.
Seeing the comments.
Right.
Yep.
Well, we've got, let's see, who's in here tonight? Of course, Nigel started to show off tonight. Irene from Japan's in here. Pastor Gary's in here. Insane Asylum is in here.
Okay.
Anthony Lewis. Susan's in here. And Barb's in here. And Bill Schultz is in here. So we got quite a few people watching this tonight. It was probably getting a good laugh out of all the technical difficulties we were having.
Well, you know what? It happens. I mean, it happens on every show at some point in time. There are technical difficulties, and it makes us appreciate when we don't.
That's right. It does.
So,
It does.
But no, that was frustrating. I was wanting to just scream. So, and the parents came home and got the kids.
Hey.
All during all this. So.
If you would have screamed, we wouldn't have been able to hear you.
Yeah.
That would be scary, wouldn't it? And you could have seen it, which is funny, you know.
Yes, that's what I said. We would have heard you, or would have seen you, but we wouldn't have heard you.
So, now I'm just trying to figure out. I'm so flustered. I can't even remember what I'm doing. So
I have two cats just bugging the hell out of me right now. Just. Oh, what's going on?
So since 2017, what have you been doing?
Oh, a lot. I mean, I've been, I think 2017, I was shot in the Las Vegas massacre in 2017, Saved by the Angels. And then after that, I automatically remembered, like it was just like a piece of my brain opened up, and I remembered how to rewire the body with thought. I remembered how to shift the neural pathways, and I started working very not exclusively, because I do it all, but I started working predominantly with people with trauma, PTSD, anxiety, pain, helping them rewire their brain. So,
oh wow,
yeah.
Well, I'm sorry that you were there. Our daughter was supposed to have been there that night. Her and her husband were supposed to be there, and they decided not to go. They were only given free tickets from MGM. Both your mom's in there. They were given free tickets. They both worked for MGM at a point in time, and I'm just grateful every day they didn't go. My other daughter just lives down the street from there now. But what was strange was before all that happened, like a year before, we were driving by on the backside, not on Las Vegas Boulevard, but the backside. And I told Ron, I said, I don't know why they didn't finish the Ferris wheel there. I said, but I wonder if it has anything to do with all the ghosts and stuff that are walking around there. And that, like I said, and that was before all that stuff happened. So
yeah, I would imagine. I mean, I've been to the site since then. I have not been on the actual parking lot, but I've been outside the site, and you can feel it. You can feel the heaviness. You can feel. I would imagine there will be one point in time where I'll go and I'll try and help release a lot of them.
Yeah. I mean, you feel it as soon as when you're coming towards the Mandalay Bay. You feel it.
Yeah, you felt that before that even happened.
I was feeling it about the time we would hit.
I remember you saying
Tropicana
a long time,
and all the way down past Mandalay Bay going south, and so it's just always the way that it felt. And I didn't know there was no history for me to go with because I don't know it. I wasn't going to waste my time looking up the history of a parking lot.
Right.
I don't know what the address is, so, but it was one of those things that only thing I said was, out of all the places to hit, that was already so haunted. And I don't know if it's because they dumped bodies there in the early years or homeless people. I don't know. There was too many to identify the people, the people that were there. It's too many to identify. So, and I don't know if it's from buildings that were there before. I don't know what was there before they started to build the Ferris wheel. And that had been there ever since I started going.
Yeah.
So, do you know any of the history of that spot there?
Unfortunately, I don't. Yeah, I'm not too sure about the history. I only know about, when I was there and what happened when I was there.
Well, I'm glad you're okay.
Are you still
Thank
in
you.
Vegas? Or
No, I'm in Los Angeles.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Is that scary?
To be honest with you, fear really isn't a factor in my life for just about anything. I mean, there might be a couple things here and there that trigger me, but I've really predominantly worked in my life to eliminate fear. It's kind of a useless thing.
We have a question in the chat room.
Love it.
Okay. Pastor Gary says, how would you reach out to a person that has a Jezebel spirit in her and she does not know it?
Okay, so Jezebel spirit being what? An attachment?
An evil attachment, yeah.
Okay. So you want to reach out to the person who the spirit is, or are you trying to get rid of the spirit that's in her?
Kind of both.
Okay. So there's an angel named Azrael, and I call him the manager of spirits, but he's kind of, we'll call him the angel of death. But he isn't really the angel of death. He just helps spirits cross over. And anytime I'm dealing with I love that Jezebel spirit. I'm gonna have to remember that. Anytime I'm dealing with a Jezebel spirit, I always call him and I have him pull him out. And what happens usually is I will envision this large angel coming in and just ripping that spirit right out of the body. The one thing that's very important when it comes to these types of spirits is that you have to actually watch them leave the body. You have to watch them go out, because if you don't, what's going to happen is they'll come right back in. So they just jump right back in. But Azrael is really good for that. So you could actually call on the angels and the angels will come. Michael's really good for that kind of stuff as well. And the other thing is that we have universal laws. And in these universal laws, they give us certain rights. And one of the rights is the right of free will. And the other is the right of connection to the divine source. So the person that is being messed with, the universal laws, her universal rights are being violated. So she can invoke those universal rights that she has, the right to connection and the right to free will, and tell the spirit that it is not allowed to be anywhere in her body or anywhere in her energy field. And by universal law, they must leave. If they don't leave, then what you can do is you can demand or command that it give their name. And they must give their name if you command to give their name. And with that name, you can actually command that they leave.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that not work at any time?
If they're very unruly, sometimes it doesn't. But then that's when the angels come in, and that's when, I mean, I usually just call the big guns right away. I don't like to mess with any of that kind of stuff, so I just call the big guns and they do it. Very seldom does it not work. And I'm talking about, I don't think I've ever seen it not work when I have been doing it.
My biggest question would be, what if the person that's being basically possessed doesn't want it to leave? They like the feeling that they're getting because of power.
which happens.
Mhm.
And in that case, the universal rights are not being violated.
because
And
they
so,
want it.
yeah. So if they want it, there's nothing you can do. The angels won't even take it out if they want it, because the demon will then claim, we have right to be here. We've been invited.
As
And that's
Gary
usually
said,
what they do.
as Gary says over here, this lady doesn't realize she has it in her. But I
So
know the
how do we?
story
That's what I
How do you
thought.
I
convince
know
her?
the story behind the woman, and if she did realize it, she probably wouldn't want to get rid of it.
Oh, yeah. Then
So
then it's been invited.
so when he says Jezebel, does he mean that in I'm just gonna say it. Is it sexual at all? Where she's coming on to people like a Jezebel would?
Yeah,
Okay. Then she's enjoying herself and you
I'll
got some problems.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you after the show.
Okay.
I'm not going to say it on air.
All right.
Okay.
I actually, I would love to discuss this after the show, because I can tap into the person.
It makes me wonder
Okay.
if it's a succubus, incubus kind of thing that Ken Deal would have gone ape crap over. So
Or is it a spirit at all? Or is it an
yeah.
entity at all?
Yeah, because I believe it followed Pastor Gary home, and that's what attacked him in the bed and gave him the black eye and the
Oh, wow.
marks on his arm.
Okay.
Because nothing like that had ever happened in his house before. That bad, you know.
Attached to him from where? Where was he coming back from?
I'll tell you after the show.
Oh.
It's
That's a
not
little
going
bit more,
on the air.
yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay.
more private. We will keep it private. So,
Yeah.
Yes.
okay. So since then, you focused on PTSD, and you happen to say that, and that's funny because this morning, and I don't mean that your PTSD is funny. Okay, what I'm saying is this morning Ron said something about not, he kept going, I just don't see that many Priuses here, and I said, well, it's because you have PTSD, and the P was Prius, not anything else. So I was making fun of the fact that he's wearing blinders. He doesn't see all the Priuses around us because it bothers him that much.
Yeah, I had to drive one for years for work. So
Makes sense. That
It's
makes
just funny
sense.
that you should say PTSD then, because like I said, we spent probably a good 5 minutes laughing about that this morning.
mhm.
So, and you're helping others with PTSD as well.
Yes. Yeah. I help others with it. We help to rewire the brain, traumas, abuse, all of that kind of stuff. It's not my only thing that I do, but it definitely is in my repertoire.
Okay, so when you're doing that, what tools do you use to help people deal with PTSD, with their rewiring? Because it's not just only PTSD you're helping with; it's whatever is in there that you're helping them with.
So we move out the trauma, and the emotions connected to the trauma. So the people will remember the trauma, but it will feel like it happened to somebody else, or it will feel so distant. So what we do is we take the trauma and we move it to the non-emotional side of the brain. And then we just remove any negative energies or any negative emotions from it. So then there's no emotion connected to the actual trauma. And then if I'm able to move out the trauma completely, then I will. But a lot of the times we have lessons from them, and spirits don't want to remove that completely. So what will happen is we move it to the non-emotional side of the brain, maintaining the lessons and then moving out the emotions from it.
This sounds very similar to the hypnosis people that we had on, doing something very similar.
Yeah, I am actually a hypnotherapist as well. I have a whole big, I mean, what I do is I like to have a big basket of things to help people with.
So you got the whole ball of wax.
I do my best, and I'm still adding more and more and more. I keep going. I'm working on instant healing now.
You're welcome, Gary.
So yeah, we've had on couple people that talked about that, and I found it very interesting. Are you helping people with health issues as well?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So our bodies, our organs and our body parts actually talk. And in a way, they kind of reply if you ask them what's going on and where it comes from. And an example is, let's say somebody has a sore toe, right? Let's just say a sore toe, and it's just not going away. If you go to that body part, the body part will say, well, this happened when something happened, emotional happened somewhere else. Let's say, oh, her dad told her that she was worthless or whatever, right? And the energy's just been held there. And then when you go say, okay, I want to remove this energy, and then it'll say, okay, we'll help you remove this energy, but you need to do this for us first. So you need to go to the kidneys and clear out the kidneys first, or whatever. And so it's kind of like this big network of energy. And so you have to, it's not just the toe. Sometimes it's the energy around it, it's the emotion around it, it's what's happened in past, it's the triggers, it's all, everything, all encompassing what's happening with the toe.
That's interesting. What has been the most unusual health issue you've helped with?
Cat's mean today.
I did have a guy who had a stroke, and he wanted to well, we actually did Skype. I was gonna say FaceTime, but we did Skype, and his face, part of his face was drooped, and he wasn't able to smile or even move part of his face for a very long time. And by the
Hi,
end
bud.
of the session, his face had raised, he was able to smile, and he was good. I mean, we had to do a couple more sessions to get it perfect. But we definitely were able to make a clear difference within the hour that we were talking.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yes, I had a lot of those. I love it.
I bet. I mean, that's got to make you feel good when there's a marked improvement in a short period of time. So
Yes. I did an interview yesterday for another program, and we were talking about, I had a client come to me. I didn't know what was wrong with him. His mother wouldn't tell me, but we figured out that he had Lyme's disease. And I was able to actually clear out the Lyme disease completely, and they retested him, and he no longer had Lyme disease.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I shortened the story, but yes, that's
Well,
the gist.
I mean, you have to still, there's still some patient confidentiality there. So
yeah.
There's a lot of things that you couldn't have said anyway, even if we'd have started asking questions. When
Can you cure a mean cat?
try a spoiled cat.
The cat wants attention.
You need a
all
treat?
the time.
Dee, do you want a treat?
She was feral.
Huh? You need a treat?
Well, she
When I
also
found her-
has separation anxiety.
She does. She doesn't like
Nah,
any of
she
us
doesn't like it
leaving.
when we're gone.
Yeah.
She doesn't like
feels
it when
like
we're
she's going to
gone.
be abandoned. So that's why she does what she does. She's scared to be abandoned again.
Well, what was bad is she was born with no people around. And I caught her. She was covered in mud when she was 6 weeks old, and I brought her in the house, and she hid in the bathroom. First she hid in the garage and all the crap we had in the old house. We had to dig through all that for me to find her and her sister. And then we moved them in the bathroom.
Brothers, no problem.
Yeah, he came out.
Hello, Allison.
But yeah, we had to move them into a bathroom where there was no place for them to go so that I could find them. And every time we would go to find her, she would hide. In fact, one person, we had a friend of ours, Charlie, who's sometimes on the program. He came to our house to watch the animals, and he goes, "You have 5 cats, right?" And I go, "No, we have 6." And he goes,
"No, you don't."
He goes, "Oh crap, I've only found 5." And I said, "Well, there's 3 yellow ones, 2 torties, and 1 pain in the ass striped one." And he goes, "Well, I've seen 2 yellow ones." And I said, "Okay." I said, "Look under our bed or behind the TV." And he goes, "There it was." She hides from strangers. She does not like strangers.
She hears the door. She's under the bed.
Yep. So, but her cohorts in crime when they were little, I called them Ricky, Lucy, and Ethel, and they were all just wanting to be together all the time. But she doesn't miss. I don't think she misses them. I think she likes the other two here. Well, at least one. So, but yeah, she's an interesting cat. She's way too big for my liking.
She likes to eat, huh?
So do you read?
Treats. Mainly treats.
Yeah. She's just.
You need a treat? Yeah.
She's just a big cat.
You want a treat?
I don't know if her dad was a lynx.
Her mom was big.
Or a bobcat or anything like that. They're huge. So.
A treat?
So do you read animals as well?
I do. Because, animals are spirits too, right? So essentially you're just tapping into the spirit and what the spirit has to say.
How often do people want you to read their animals?
I usually start with the humans, and then then when I'm talking to them, the animal comes as we're doing a session, and then I read the animal as well. So it's kind of fun. Animals are always drawn to energy. They'll always come around when energy, especially if the energy or frequency is high, they'll always come around for that because they can feel it. It's like this divine energy that they feel, that they want to be close to.
Like to say,
well, that's weird. Just a few minutes after we finally got on here, these two just started just bugging the hell out of me. I mean, maybe they want to be on TV. I don't know.
Maybe.
Or wanted to tell you something.
So.
Or they just want to be part of the angelic energy. Because I usually have a pretty big team that comes.
Yes, you're still hanging around.
I thought it was demonic energy in the cats.
Oh,
because I swear they're trying to kill us.
Yeah.
I think they're serial killers at heart.
They've reincarnated.
From the previous lives, right?
Well, like I said, the doctor, and they go, "Are you safe at home?" And I said, "From everybody but my cats." I said, "They dart in front of me in the dark when I can't see them and expect me not to step on them." So I think that they're either I have a death wish or they do. I don't know which one. So, and Virgil, yes, you can respectfully ask a question, and we will ask it as long as it's respectful. So I can see some stuff on my phone.
Okay.
I can't see that at all.
Well, it's because, like I said, because I have it on my phone, and I got the show up on there, so I can at least see something, so that Carl doesn't have to all the questions.
That's all right, because Gary's got a doctor's appointment. That throat problem he has, and everything, speech. So the neurologist set him up an appointment. They're going to look at it.
Oh.
Tomorrow, you said?
He didn't say when, but they're going to check it out.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So I heard while I was screaming my head off in my head about all the crap I couldn't get done, that you had paranormal investigated. Can you give us more information into that?
Oh, I've done a lot of it, actually. When I first started out in this realm, I was a psychic medium, and I was doing TV shows and interviews, and we were going to haunted places to investigate, and filming and catching spirits on video. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. But I was also saying that I don't do it as much anymore because I'm not looking to play with bullies, because a lot of the energies of what we've encountered are bullies, and I'd much rather help humans that need help.
Well, there's not only that. There's in the paranormal there are so many personalities that are not out for everyone's well-being.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Very nice way to put that, isn't it?
It's a very nice way. We did this one paranormal investigation of this ranch. And unfortunately, see, one of the things that I don't believe in and I don't agree with are antagonizers. So those that
Right.
try to antagonize
Right.
spirits. And I don't ever want to be part of that. But we were
Right.
part of a team that was filming a TV show, and we had, and they were antagonizers. And they were using, I call it the Jackbox, but I think there's a different name for it. It's that radio where you lock it on scan, and it scans until the spirit answers a question, and it'll stop on whatever words it needs to use in order to reply to you. So we were using the Jackbox, and they, of course, is anybody here? If anything, if anyone wants to come out and all this, and it stopped on get out. And so then, they start scanning again, and the people say, well, what if we don't want to get out? We don't have to listen to you. What if we don't want to get out? What are you going to do about it? So they start antagonizing these spirits, and it stops on a story of ghost hunters that were killed in a ghost hunt. So right then and there, I was done. I was like, I'm out. First of all, I don't antagonize. And second of all, I am not going to be threatened by this spirit. So we left. And I'm not sure if, what happened to them or anything like that. But yeah, when you start getting spirits that are saying that they will take you out, it's time to go.
It doesn't sound like they're going to take you out anywhere good.
No. Yeah, it was definitely an investigation that had many facets to it, but it wasn't a fun one.
Of all the places that while you were paranormal investigating, is there any place that you'll never go back to?
Probably that one.
No, I would actually go back to that one because as long as you're not antagonizing them, I would imagine they'd be okay.
Yeah.
I would say the place that I can't remember the name of it, but it was an insane asylum in Northern California. That one was a little much. Things are flying at you, and the smells were awful, and you got these little kids running around. It was a child insane asylum, so it was. I don't think I'd go back to that one.
I think that's in my house. Yesterday.
So I have a good story about that. So there was a producer that was talking about when he went to the insane asylum, and he said that he had to sit by himself with a camera, and it was a child one as well. And he was like, how am I going to get these kids to leave me alone all night, because they were just going insane and throwing things at him, and they were actually hurting him. And so he said that he mustered all the courage that he could muster. And he slams his hand down on the table, and he goes, okay, you little shits, it's time for your medicine. He said it was quiet for the rest of the night.
I called my kid a little shit once, and the next thing I know, the Division of Family Services is knocking on my door.
Oh my God.
Like, you people are crazy. This is in Missouri. I'm like, and I mean, it wasn't like I didn't call her a little shit all the time.
We'll tilt it down.
So,
hey, Shannon, this cat just woke up out of her deep sleep to say hi, I think.
Hello. I can barely see him, but let's see.
That's her. Yeah, it's Coco.
She's a tortie, so she's hard to see.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hard to see.
She is.
Yeah, she woke right up. She was out.
Well, you were mentioning about a ghost in your house, and what I'm feeling is that your cat is actually agreeing.
Oh yeah, she's. We found her in a trash can. She was sick, and she basically just gave up and said, "I'm done being feral. Save me. Get me away from Calgon. Take me away."
All right, so your cat is saying that there is a male spirit in your house. He's tall and skinny, and his clothes are ripped. Very old, like not old looking, like he has a beard, a white beard, but his clothes are ragged, and I see brown slacks and kind of a dirty button shirt.
Hmm.
And
No clue.
it reminds me of maybe I want to say the 50s or 60s time frame. And do you ever get the smell of smoke? Like,
No,
because I'm
this is
smelling smoke.
I mean, I know that a new house doesn't preclude it from being haunted. I know that.
Oh no, this is from the land.
We don't know anything about the land. Only thing I know is that when I'm sitting here, I will catch out of the corner of my eye people walking by in the yard, and they've been or running by. I can't see them. They won't slow down. And so far, the only thing I've noticed is that one of them or two of them look like Native Americans. So I believe that they're some of the Porch Creek, according to a friend whose family used to live in this area, and her family was part of the Creek Indians. So there is a Creek festival next weekend, and I'm going to talk to them hopefully and find out what they know about this area as far as that goes. But so far they haven't stopped to talk to me or anything like that. They've just kind of just kept going.
I do want to say for this, for people who are listening and watching, if you are on Indian territory and your house is on Indian territory, do not remove any articles from that land at all. If you see something buried, leave it. This is why. There are something called shadow people, and these shadow people are actual Indian of Indian descent, and their energy is there to protect the burial grounds of these Native Americans. If you move them out, if you move anything out, if you disturb their burial site, these shadow people will make your life hell until you fix it. I've experienced that with so many of my clients.
Well, that kind of goes into out there at the cemetery. Denise and Ron know about the cemetery. And down the road a little ways up on the bluff, a gentleman owns the property on the other side, has a hunting lodge. So some of his friends came up on that cliff up there and were digging for Indian artifacts. And they started finding some, right? One guy looks up and the other two guys look up, and there is an Indian in full gear standing 20 feet away from them looking at him. They put everything back in the hole, covered it up, left, and said they would never go back up there again. And he owns that property. That property right there, nobody deer hunts on that property.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, they're because very protective.
Yeah. So like here, I'm going to tell everybody do the call before you dig, first off. So, because you don't know what's in the ground besides, dirt, rocks, sand. We have sprinklers, so I know that there's a bunch of crap in the yard. And after watching them build these houses the last few months, there's a lot of crap in these yards. So call before you dig. I'm waiting for somebody to hit one of the sprinklers and waiting to hear that their yard is flooded, to be honest. So
yeah,
it's going to happen at some point, but just make sure you guys do that. It's important that you do that. But and like Shannon said, you find something.
I hope you guys can hear me because I can't hear again.
Oh, she can't hear us now.
Again.
So
can you hear us now, Shannon?
Yes, I can.
Perfect.
She moves her phone just a little bit, her volume goes off.
Yeah, really? I'm doing my best not to move.
Oh, that's all right. That's just weird.
Yeah. Well, I pump a lot of energy too, And I've actually done interviews where the screen just goes, wah.
We've had that happen a lot on shows. I mean, some weird stuff on shows.
So
we've had some-
I just heard that you have 15 spirits on your land. But there's one male that frequents the house a lot, inside the house.
That's what
we had
Allison said. There's a spirit near your door next to that cable cover right behind you.
mine.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm
Right
just
now there
telling you
is,
what's in
yeah.
the chat room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not
I was thinking
leaving.
a kitchen table cover, but yeah, I forgot
Yeah.
about that one.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not discounting it because I know that there's all kinds of stuff. And another thing is sometimes even people who see spirits don't always see the same spirits everybody else sees.
That's true.
They see the ones that they're supposed to see, not always the ones that other people see. And that's why,
Right.
I tell people all the time, that's why sometimes when you have more than one medium in a room, they will pick up different spirits. They may not pick up the same ones. Have you had that experience as well?
Absolutely. It has to do with frequency. So everyone vibrates at a different vibration. And so some, it's like you're tuned in like a radio, right? So you're tuned in to certain frequencies and you can see those frequencies. But then if you tune into a different frequency, sometimes that particular spirit is in the other category with the other person, and another spirit might be one that's tuned into your frequency.
Like I said, I'm not discounting anything because, like I said, I know I see them all the time, and there's times that I know I can't sleep and I can feel somebody doing this to me, and it ain't him.
Not me.
So it's like, wake up! You need to talk to me. And here of late, it's been a lot. I've been up before 6 o'clock more mornings than in the last month than I ever have been. I'm a sleep till 10 person, get up. But of course I hated my job. So, so I wasn't getting up anyway. I was, to go from here to here. Didn't want to. So the losing the job thing was a blessing. So getting a new job is a blessing. And I don't know if the spirits had anything to do with that, but I got a feeling it was just my gut telling me it was going to happen. It was due. But
well, I mean, you were living in stagnation. The energy needed to move. You weren't living your path, and you're actually being encouraged to start something for yourself, because if you get another job, you're gonna keep running in the same cycle over and over. It's like you're gonna stay on a hamster wheel, and you're not stepping past where you need to be in order to fulfill your path.
I think maybe that's for him.
Okay.
Possibly.
What's that?
Because to start your own path. We need health insurance. So I got to stay on this path for now. Just till retirement. But like I said, I just know that as soon as I found out I had the job yesterday, huge weight was lifted off my shoulders. So what might a red orb be?
There are different. I mean, spirits come out in different orbs. They can do different colors, and they can do different. So it definitely probably was spirit energy. Red might be something significant to a family member or somebody close to you, that they're trying to show that they're part of, around in their energy.
I know there's lots of websites out there that talk about what the colors mean.
Mm.
And I always tell people, how does it make you feel? You can't assume because it's red, it's bad,
Right.
because we always put red is bad, black is not good either, that you should do that. how did it make you feel, Gary? Did it make you feel like you should be afraid? Did it make you feel apprehensive? Things like that. Tune into what you're feeling, Gary. And if
I
I'm
don't know
wrong,
if there, I don't know if there was two red orbs, like two red eyes looking at me. That might make me feel a little apprehensive.
Yeah.
Well, it could be
Yeah.
one red eye looking at you.
Yeah, it
know.
could be. Maybe he's winking at you. You never
Gary says
know.
no fear.
No fear.
Okay.
Okay. So
I like Gary.
Oh, you
then
love Pastor Gary. He's part of my paranormal team.
Yeah, he's
If-
a great guy.
if I saw red around, if I saw red, and it would make me think of Ron's dad because of his cardinal infatuation. He loved the cardinal birds and he loved cardinal baseball. That's what I would think of. I wouldn't think of anything bad. At first, anyway, I wouldn't. But is there anything? If I don't even know how to
I've
word
seen
it.
many colored ones.
Oh, seen some lilac colored ones.
Yeah.
And some yellow ones, some green. We've heard of some blue ones. So, and what are your thoughts on orbs?
Mostly white.
Is it something that if you're only picking it up on your camera, it's probably nothing? Or if you see it with your own eyes, it's a spirit? What are your thoughts on that?
So I actually have a picture with probably 1,000 orbs in it, and I was calling energy, and you can look inside the orbs and actually see that they're the ones that I got were fairies. You could actually see the wings and the legs, and you could see them. That was amazing. But I feel that it's not if you can. It doesn't. For me, and my personal experience, it's not about if you can see them or not see them. If you catch them on camera, it's even better because then you can actually analyze them. You can blow them up and see what's inside of them. And a lot of the times, you'll see what's inside them, whether it's fairies, whether it's people, whether it's, there's all kinds of things that you can see inside of an orb.
Yeah, I've seen some at the Sally house. A friend of ours was there investigating for a film, and he happened to take a picture in the house, and he showed it to me the next morning, and I looked at it and I recognized the people in there. And both Ron and Carl know I don't see faces and things. I just don't, unless they're really there. So they have to be there for me to see them. And when I recognized them, it was like, as a matter of fact, this is factual. This looks like this person, and this one looks like this person. And I had pictures to prove what they look like.
Wow.
And he was shocked as anything. But he also took a picture of the house across next door. And in this picture is a spirit that's standing with floating with its arms open. And it was the lady of the house next door that had passed away. But she had her husband had built the Sally house, but she lived in the house next door when she passed. And when I showed him the picture, again, he was amazed because, nobody's ever claimed that the house next to the Sally house was haunted. I suspect that it's more haunted than the actual Sally house. Just it got the attention. So, can I prove that? Can't prove it because I'm not in Kansas anymore.
No, you're not, Toto.
I'm not in Kansas anymore. That's
actually
so cute.
As soon as I drove over the Missouri state line in the car with all the dogs, and I go, well, we're not in Kansas anymore, and haven't been back since. So, it's today I was filling out paperwork for this new job, and they're doing a background check, and they asked me how long I lived here. I was like,
5 months.
When? And it's like, so do I want to say May when we brought our first load? or June when we brought
June.
our second load, but I changed my withholding in May to here.
Yeah.
So I put May. So technically I haven't been a resident of Kansas since then. But it makes you think about how long stuff is. And our daughter just showed us a picture of Ruby, my grandson, back in May, on May 22nd. And it's amazing how much he's changed since May to now.
Wow, yeah.
It's not that long, it's 6 months. And it's amazing how many things change in 6 months. And I know that you've witnessed that with the changes that you've gone through and things that you've experienced. What is the biggest change you've witnessed in your growth?
In the past 6 months or in
No.
ever?
Ever. Because, I'm just saying I've seen all this in 6 months. What about over time? We've got, just birth to death, we have a million changes. But sometimes in a short period of time, we make huge changes, and sometimes nobody notices, and sometimes they do. But you yourself will notice it a lot more. So for you, with the paranormal and your mediumship and all that, and the recovery of from your PTSD into this new life that you have, besides being shot, what was the catalyst, and how did it make you grow and change?
So for me, who I was, let's say at 25, even at 30, isn't who I am today. I even put a picture up one time of how I looked then and how I look now. And it looks like a totally different person. So at 33, I kind of say that I died and then I came back. So at 33, I was actually given a year to live. I had a heart condition. And I decided to change my life at that point in time. And prior to that, I was stressed out. I was angry. I yelled at the kids all the time. I was a fighter. I was so angry all the time. And then after I shifted and I decided to change my life, and I began to work on, I actually began to work on this kind of paranormal stuff professionally, because I did it as fun before, but then I decided to do it professionally and help people in their lives. And I completely changed who I am today, and the light that I have today and the energy that I have today, I did not have when I was younger. And so people all the time, my friends that I've had since I was a child that haven't seen me in years, they go, "You're not even the same person." And I'm like, yeah, no. We change, we evolve, we become new things. But I also merged with my higher self. And so it was funny, I even had people who would recognize when my higher self came in as opposed to me. And I had an ex one time that would always say, "Oh, here she comes. It's her again." Because he said that I would change so completely, even my facial features would change. Yeah. So I've had a lot of change in my life.
Yeah.
Are there certain times of the year where you're like busier? Do you get more clients, like around Christmas or something?
It's funny because right after Thanksgiving, things slow down. And
Really?
they slow down until probably the first part of the year. And then it picks up like crazy. Like right as soon as like tax season comes, people just go, yeah, they go crazy. Not crazy like they're insane, but everyone wants a session. Or if there's some major, like right now we're having a war, right? If there's something major that happens, a lot of people want sessions. A lot of people want to know that everything's going to be okay.
So, Bill, we gave Elijah his first tour at the Sally House. So just remember, whatever story he's telling, it's hopefully he's telling the story I gave him, and it's the truth. So that's the fact there.
Right.
So,
He-
yep, he passed.
Oh.
So the Sally
Say it.
House, the Sally House. What is the Sally House? You guys
The
have
Sally
mentioned it a
House
lot.
was on
It's-
it was on Ghost Adventures back in 2015, and I was on there. So was Ron, and it was supposed to be a demonically haunted home, and nobody could stay in it. Nobody stayed in it after, was it 2004? They couldn't keep people
Nah,
living in
before
it.
that.
No, it was 2004 is the last time somebody lived there.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, they started opening it up to paranormal people just so they could make the taxes on the house. And so it is very unusual. And there were a lot of falsehoods about the house. And when I first went in there, I thought I knew everything. I thought I knew everything about the house because I had seen it on sightings and I had seen it on a haunting and I had seen it on this or that. And, didn't know that they could take their own license and say whatever they wanted to say. In fact, the first time I walked in the house, I go, this doesn't look like the house on TV. So we went, we explored, and we went back 2 weeks in a row. And at that time, I just looked at him and said, I've got to find a way to get in here and do this every week. And so I told him, I said, my company will pay you to let me volunteer. So it was in their best interest to let us volunteer because his company and my company would pay them about $1,200 a year for us to volunteer. So for 7 years, we did that. And during the eclipse in 2017, the house was cleared and we didn't have any more activity. We went back 3 times after that.
Yeah, nothing.
And it was the most boring place ever. No smell, no bugs, no nothing. And if it is haunted now, it's haunted by whatever's been conjured in there, by paranormal teams going in there and going, Sally, are you here? Sally. And then, of course, if the spirit's in there and they want to talk, they're going to answer. So that's what it was going to be. So it was kind of weird. And, but I don't know, but it was an interesting time in our lives to be the tour guides there. Carl got to help out some, and
Yep.
now I have different things to do on Halloween.
Different things to do on the weekends.
Yeah.
Well, we lost her.
Yeah, she'll be back. She's gonna log in.
We did, didn't we?
Yep.
Yeah, she typed. She can't hear
Yeah.
again.
Here she is.
Yeah, in the
She
private
must
chat.
move. There you are. Can you hear
Can
me?
you hear us?
Nope.
Okay.
Say that's a no.
So, it's been one of them days, hadn't it?
I'm so sorry, guys. I
It
can't
has.
hear Evan.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Anthony said earlier in the chat room there were slow affairs happening all over the place today.
Oh yeah.
So,
like I said, I knew that there was because of the way things were happening. I was having cell phone problems earlier today. You want to hear something funny? Remember when we talked yesterday? I was able to hear you on here and all that other stuff. Then I started having problems just before. And so let's see if I can do this.
Shannon, can you hear us? Nope, not yet.
So she says maybe we can type the questions and she can respond. So, or yeah,
Anybody have any questions?
yeah, you guys have any questions, let us know and we can get those over to her.
Yeah. Type anything, any question you want.
There you go. What are you working on now, Shannon?
So I'm working on several things at the moment. I'm actually going to start doing another series on creating the life that you've always wanted to create, and it's like a summit. So I'll begin to interview other psychics, other healers, other energy workers. So I'm going to be starting that at the first of the year. And then I'm going to also be doing start doing online stuff so that I can begin to bring in more people. I'm going to start teaching again. So I'm going to start teaching my own healing modality. And then also I'm going to be teaching theta healing and certifying people in theta healing. And then I'm going to be restarting because before the pandemic, I used to have a group called Angelic Awakenings. And I want to restart the group where we meet once a week.
I know you used to have
so
those.
the cost for the summit is none. It will be posted on my Facebook, and so you just sign up and then you can see the summit. For the classes and the certifications, yes, there is a cost. You can go ahead and private message me on Facebook or Instagram or any of those, and I can give you the cost for those. For the online events that we're going to do. And the online events are going to be very minimal cost. It's just going to be pretty much about us getting together and talking.
Right.
It's so crazy
asks,
that I can't hear you guys because usually by now it kicks back in. I still can't hear.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
So my childhood house had spirits in this one room. It would change in appearance structurally. So I always had trouble getting out of that room when a family member would go near that room, it would change back. Why did the family member walking by trigger it?
I'm going to go out and come back in.
Oh,
she can't hear you.
I know that she can't hear, but in case somebody's listening later and not watching, they could hear what the question is.
They can see.
Right.
No, they can't if they're listening only.
Oh, listening only.
Yeah. That's why we always read the questions. So in case somebody's just listening.
We always put the questions up and read them. That way, if somebody's listening to the show and not commenting, they know exactly what's going on.
So hopefully she comes back. But if maybe we should think about cutting the show short. For our technical.
Yeah, we will. If she don't come back, or we'll let her know, we'll cut the show short tonight because of all these technical issues. Here she is again. We'll see what we got. Now can you hear us?
There's something.
I hear something.
Well, I mean, we could hear her. She just can't hear us.
Right.
I'm so sorry, everybody. I still cannot hear anything.
So, let's see. I'm going to say let's end this for tonight.
Right.
And we'll have Shannon on again in the future. And I will get with her offline here and see if we can get her back on to talk about the other thing. So I will give her a little chat here. But I'd like to thank everyone for listening. And Carl, you want to tell everybody, where they can find us and stuff while I message this? I'll come back and tell you.
You can find us all on the Billerites Network on Facebook. You can also find us on Things Network on Facebook, the Temple of Phoenix Rising Entertainment Facebook page, also Japan Paranormal Facebook page. You can usually find us, and you'll always find us on Rumble on Born TV, where our shows are located at. And we have all other platforms on the shows and everything. Paranormal Pride Facebook page where Denise does her show. We have them everywhere. So you can always find us anytime. But you go to the Billerites Network on Facebook and there's a time and listing of all the shows.
Too many technical problems.
So with that being said, I want to thank everybody in the chat room, everybody over on Rumble. We have 9 or 10 people over on Rumble watching us right now and stuff. We want to thank you all the time. And we'll see you next week here on Paranormal Nation Radio. Not so normal. Have a good evening.
Have a good night,